Good evening, Bahamas. On the broadcast tonight, Atlantis unveils 3 new Bahamian restaurants as the resort continues to immerse guests in the rich tradition and culture of the Bahamas. Plus, members of the business community express their views on the controversy surrounding the Commercial Enterprises Bill. And the former leader of the Free National Movement gives his assessment of the Minnis administration's 6 months in office.
To you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news, the weekend edition, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Knowles. Topping the news, just a few weeks after relaunching its ultra luxe resort, The Cove, Atlantis is once again adding more Bahamian flavor to its brand with the opening of 3 new native dining concepts at Marina Village. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis was on hand to officially open the new restaurants and applauded the mega resort for bringing Bahamian culture within. It was a down-home party in the backyard at Marina Village on Paradise Island yesterday as the mega resort Atlantis officially opened 3 new Bahamian restaurants. First, there's Mackenzie's Fresh Conch, which is well known for having some of the best conch salad in Nassau. Then there's Pirates Republic, the country's first craft brewery, which will offer a variety of local Bahamian beer. And also making its debut on Paradise Island is Frankie Gone Bananas, bringing a taste of the island's rich culinary flavors. And within just 15 minutes, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, along with his wife and Atlantis' top executives, made the rounds to officially open the new restaurants. Dr. Minnis said he was impressed with what Atlantis is doing to become more authentic.
As you know, there are thousands of individuals who come through, and individuals from all walks of life. So it's giving them the opportunity to be exposed to Bahamian culture. And who knows, with the exposure, 1 or 2 of the guests may have other connections in different parts of the world, and that's how networking occurs and give us an opportunity to send our culture to other parts of the world and blossom.
And as Atlantis is bringing Bahamian culture within, Dr. Minnis said he would like to see other facilities do the same. He also highlighted Pirates Republic as a model for other Bahamian entrepreneurs to follow.
What I would like to see going forward, sports clubs, bars, restaurants, etc., would have that type of facility so that you can brew there right at that particular location. I think that is a great market for the Bahamian, and what Pirates Club with the Hall of Rascal is doing, I think is an excellent model, and I look forward to years from the day to see that model blossom into all of the restaurant facilities throughout the Bahamas, all the sports bars, etc., etc. And from here, who knows, the other parts of the world.
Twice monthly, Atlantis hosts Art Walk at Marina Village, giving local artisans the opportunity to display their work. It's now become the place to indulge your taste for art, crafts, Bahamian music, and locally grown and made products. Atlantis' president, Audrey Oswald, says it's all a part of the company's goal to bring more of the Bahamas to Atlantis.
Our customers expressed the interest in experiencing more of the Bahamas at the resort. So in the last year, we made an effort to bring some of the culture to the resort. And we have a lot of partners that we've been working with over the last year. And we're happy to have our craftspeople from Art Walk return for the 2nd year in a row. And that coincides with the opening of the restaurants.
Well, on the heels of experiencing high occupancy for the Thanksgiving weekend, Atlantis' president and managing director, Audrey Oswald, says the Christmas season will be a great one for the mega resort.
Occupancy is very strong. Unfortunately, it's a good thing, but we're almost sold out for Christmas and New Year, so we're very happy about that. And we're getting great feedback from our customers that were here this past week. We've been very busy for the Thanksgiving holiday and for Battle for Atlantis, which was a huge success for us.
And moving into 2018, Oswald expects those high numbers to continue as the resort prepares to unveil even more new concepts.
Now, for the first quarter of 2018, we're looking very strong, and our employees do a great job of sharing the Bahamian culture with all of our guests to make sure that they have a great Bahamian experience. We have Fish by Jose Andres will be opening in February of 2018, and a few other surprises for later in the year that I can't talk about now. And I think everybody knows that Sip Sip from Harbor Island in the Bahamas opened up earlier this month.
President of the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants, Gowan Bowe, is calling the controversy surrounding the Commercial Enterprises Bill immature and dismissive of the real issue at hand. We get that story tonight from our April Sands.
More than a month after it was tabled in Parliament, the Commercial Enterprises Bill has sparked heated debate in Parliament, with the PLP deputy leader accusing the government of rolling out the red carpet for foreigners. The Commercial Enterprises Bill aims to allow freedom for granting of work permits to enterprises that wish to establish themselves in the Bahamas and require work permits for management and key personnel. President of the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accounts, Gowan Bowe, says the conversation between both parties is immature and dismissive of the real issue.
We currently always sort of run to the bottom about, well, is it the motto of Bahamians first, or is it the motto of the people's time? And really all that creates is the pandemonium. It creates the unnecessary idle chatter that speaks about what I would call, again, us against them, as opposed to, well, what are the benefits to come out of this?
Bowe says he can only hope the bill is just phase one of a grander scheme of things. Meanwhile, CEO and director of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Edison Sumner, released a press statement on the matter Friday, listing the good the bill brings to the economy, but also listing the number of concerns and unanswered questions the Chamber has on the bill.
What we're suggesting is, and even with the immigration process for the application of work permits and the rest of it, is that the same expediency that is being put into the bill for there to be approvals for the certificates for enterprises or for the approval of work permits, that the same level of expediency is given to Bahamians and the Bahamian businesses who are seeking to get similar kinds of services.
Sumner says there should be a heavier focus on Bahamian businesses and the high cost of doing business in the Bahamas. He said there are a number of businesses operating in the red.
And as quickly as the bill went out and was read yesterday and debated, I'm already getting calls from international companies saying, you know, we are interested in talking to you all about doing business in the country. And their interest has been, one particular one has a very strong interest in resort development, right, and gaming industry. So the word has gone out. But where it begins really isn't as important as how it ends, right? And the way it ends is going to mean that we have to include the foreign investor, we have to include the Bahamian investor, and we have to be sure that whatever measures are put in place are measures that are going to build up the economy.
As for what some are calling a, quote, surprise bill, Sumner attributes his reasoning of the bill being expedited in the House of Assembly to a greater foreign market that contributes to the country's economy. But Sumner outlines that there must be a greater focus on Bahamian businesses to create for more of an economic contribution to the country. Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
All right, thanks, April. From the crime beat tonight, police shot and killed a man after he reportedly attempted to knock down officers with his vehicle. The incident occurred shortly before 9 last night at Beatrice Avenue and Bay Lily Drive. The victim was taken to hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. Now, as with all police-involved shootings, Her Majesty's coroner is investigating. Meantime, police are also investigating another shooting which occurred last evening in the Golden Gates area. A man was reportedly at a park when he was approached by a gunman who shot him. The victim ran to a nearby residence and was assisted to the hospital where he was treated and discharged. Police also investigating 2 separate armed robberies which occurred yesterday. In the first incident, shortly before 5 p.m., a man armed with a handgun robbed a shoe store in the Palmdale area of an undisclosed amount of cash before fleeing on foot. Then shortly before 8 p.m., a man and a woman were sitting on a beach in the eastern part of New Providence when they were approached by 3 men, one armed with a handgun, who robbed them of cash and personal items before speeding off in a vehicle. Police are appealing to members of the public with any information regarding any of these incidents to come forward. In other news this evening, a former leader of the Free National Movement is giving his assessment of the Minnis administration's performance 6 months into office. Our Giorgio Bain tells us more.
Tommy Turnquest, who once served as leader of the FNM, is offering words of wisdom to politicians and to the electorate to keep a close eye on the direction the government is moving in. Turnquest is encouraging Bahamians to keep the fire under recently elected politicians, following several accusations that the Minnis administration does not seem to have a clear plan for the country. Turnquest says the administration has his full support, despite comments last year that he did not believe that the Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis, had the leadership ability or personality to defeat the Christie administration in the general election.
Keep the fire on him, and keep the fire on MPs that you don't think are performing. You know, I've been there. I know what it's like. I know the pressure, and sometimes the pressure gets hot. The one thing you have to always do is face the public. Keep the public abreast. They may not agree with you, and every time you do something, someone is going to disagree. At least one person. And they just have to explain why they're doing what they're doing, and continue to be focused and do what they think is best. I live by the adage that any decision that I make, I am prepared to defend publicly.
Turnquest, who once served as the Minister for National Security, wants the new minister, Marvin Dames, to be selective with which questions he answers and how he answers them, but says he believes overall that Dames will do well given the amount of pressure he is under.
You have to sometimes not answer everything that they say, because sometimes you say things that you ought not to say. But, you know, on balance, I think he's doing a good job. He has a new team in terms of the Commodore of the Defense Force and the Commissioner of Police. And he should know what to do. He's been on the front line. We expect him to do well. But it's a lot of work. And as long as he keeps his shoulder to the wheel and takes the multi-sectoral approach that he talks about, I think he'll be very successful. He has my full support.
In recent weeks, the Minnis administration has been criticized for comments about a pay raise for MPs, crime, jobs, and proposed changes to the Bahamas Nationality Act. Turnquest says everyone is entitled to their opinion on the government.
Everybody has an opinion, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. With social media and the press, as you are, y'all are all over looking for commentary from everyone. You're not going to get me to say anything. Anything that I could do to help Minnis, I pledged to him that I'm going to help Minnis. I want him to succeed. I think he's good for the Bahamas, and I want him to succeed.
Reporting for our News Weekend Edition, I'm Giorgio Bain.
All right, thanks, Giorgio. And we'll take a break here, but still ahead tonight. Find out what the major focus of BPL's new CEO. That story and more.